Welcome again to Chromeillusion.com. This is Stephen Burns, and continuing, we're going to finish up our tutorial on the composite here, and taking a look at the scene. In my opinion, the architecture that we placed to the right is just a little bit too bright in relationship to the rest of the scene. So I'm going to select that architecture, and I'm going to go to Control L, and I'm going to utilize my levels just to tone down these highlights just a little bit. And right down here in the bottom for the output levels, I can decide how I want these highlights to basically be displayed. And since the other highlights in the image are fairly flat, I want this to be flat as well. So I'm going to grab the highlight marker and bring it on over slightly, and as you can see, that starts to match the feel or the flatness of the rest of the scene, and we're going to click OK. Alright, that looks much better. Now let's go in here and try to enhance this a little bit, and I think I'm going to go for a curves adjustment layer to start off with. Okay, so just experiment with this. I'm going to pull this on out, and let's go ahead and close the rest of these. So attach our adjustment layer to the bottom of our layers palette, and let's take a look. Let's see what happens when we richen up the scene a little bit, bring up the midtones. Okay, let's watch how the highlights reacting. Alright, that's not bad, and I'm going to keep it there for now. And let's match the, let's go up in here and let's see if we can control the highlights just a little bit here. Let's go and hit Command Alt Shift or Command Option Shift E, and that's going to merge everything into its own layer. Okay, now I'm going to explore and experiment with something here. How about if I use my image and apply the image command to itself? This time, let's keep it normal, and let's explore some of the blend modes that I have here and utilize this to add texture in certain areas. If I go to multiply, I'm seeing detail happening more in the highlight areas, which is exactly what I want here, because I'm losing a lot of detail in the highlights. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to go ahead and add a mask to that, and I'm going to create a contrast mask that's going to restrict the details of this multiply to the highlights mostly and disregard everything else. So once again, let's go over here and take a look at our channels and find out which one of these channels are going to work the best for us. Okay, so red, green, and blue. Probably the red might work pretty well. Let's go to the green, blue. All right, we're gonna basically select the red channel. Let's go back to layers, select our mask, image, apply the image. We're going to apply, instead of the RGB composite, we're going to apply the red channel. There it is. Okay, so you can see the highlights are being controlled already. We have a nice look, a nice controlled feel. Highlights aren't going out of whack, and your shadows aren't going out of whack. And let's leave that the way it is. Now, what I could do is I can go ahead and apply a curves to richen up some of the darker areas while we brighten up the brighter areas on the mask, which means that this is going to affect the midtone areas less and it's going to affect the highlights more. I like that even better. Let's go ahead and click OK. Much better. Now let's do this one more time. Control Alt Shift E. I'm just basically merging everything into its own layer. And this time, let's go to image, apply the image, and let's see what happens if we decide to use a command like overlay. There we are. We're getting a nice, snappy, lot more contrast. Now, this is a little bit too much for my taste, so let's just decrease the opacity and just add a little bit of that effect there. Let's bring it down a little bit more. That's much better. Alright, let's go ahead and hit the tab key. There it is. So We have our architecture here. We've composited in here. We've kind of balanced out the contrast in the scene using the apply image command. And of course, there's much more I would love to do with this, but I think you guys are going to get the idea. In future tutorials, we'll come in and we'll talk about adding atmospheric haze and additional lighting effects and so forth. But for right now, I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Be sure to go to my website once again, thechromeillusion.com. Make sure that you go to the books and DVDs and take a look at my latest book, Photoshop CS5 Trickery and Effects. Is discounted from Amazon. And once again, play around with the tutorial section. There's quite a number of them there. Okay, and I'm Stephen Burns. Enjoy.